Well, growing allegations of voter suppression are emerging in the hard-fought race for governor in Georgia. Polls show the contest between Republican Kemp, who is Secretary of State, and Democrat Stacey Abrams is basically a dead heat. Civil rights groups are suing Kemp for putting more than 53,000 voter registration applications on hold, mostly from minority voters. And Monday, dozens of black senior citizens southeast of Atlanta were ordered off a bus bound for the polls for early voting. Nancy Cordes shows us how the fight over access to voting has become a key issue. Nancy, good morning.
Good morning. County officials in Georgia say those senior citizens were told to get off the bus because it was parked outside a county facility and thus constituted prohibited political activity. Activists called it an intimidation tactic in a razor-tight race that's been consumed by a fight over voting rights.
The votes are being purged.
In Hinesville, Georgia, it was the talk of the race.
I want them to remember that people died for that right.
They were there to see Democrat Stacey Abrams, who is vying to become the first African-American woman governor in the South.
In 21 days, we're about to make history.
She's running against Republican Kemp, who currently oversees Georgia's election system. Abrams has accused him of dropping more than 1 million voters from the rolls since 2012 and closing polling places in African-American communities.
He is someone who's been tilting the playing field in his direction and in the direction of his party.
The biggest controversy surrounds the state's new exact match law that put the registrations of 53,000 voters, most of them African-Americans, on hold because of discrepancies in the way their names are spelled in state databases. Marcia Appling-Nunez got tripped up by a missing letter.
It was unnecessary that I had to go through so many hoops to be here right now, finally as a registered voter.
On Fox News, Kemp called the issue a smokescreen.
Those folks that are on the pending list, all they have to do is go to the polls, show their photo ID, and they can vote.
He says he's just enforcing the law and that if you want to vote, your name should be recorded accurately.
The challenge is that he knew from experience that this law has a disproportionate effect on certain communities because he was sued for exactly this reason in 2016.
Appling-Nunez told us she has now been re-registered despite that missing A, but only after going online more than 40 times. Kemp's campaign declined our request for an interview, but in a statement said that Abrams is trying to create fake outrage to drive voters to the polls. Gayle.
Thank you very much, Nancy. But some of the discrepancies, though, are as simple as a hyphen is not there or your numbers transposed.
I think everybody agrees, no matter what political stripe, more people should vote. There were more than 90 million people that didn't vote in the election. It shouldn't be that hard to vote.
And that's a case where every vote is going to matter in that race.